My next guest has spent the last few minutes empathizing with all of us here at Channel 6 because one of the things that is, I guess, a big part of, well, things like television production is a little short word called stress. And from time to time, we all experience stress. And our guest today is going to talk about that. Jana McCarthy joins us today. She's in the Health Education Department with Kaiser Permanente, and we welcome you to our program. Good to have you with us.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Let's talk about that. Stress. Is stress always good? Is stress always bad? What is stress?
Well, stress is something all of us have. And yes, there is good stress. Have you ever planned a vacation?
Usually my wife does.
Yeah,
but
it's stressful. It's fun when you go on the vacation,
Yeah.
but it's hard to plan. And that's called eustress. It's a positive kind of stress.
Okay.
Then there's the distress. That's the stuff we don't like.
Right.
That's the stuff like rising gas prices, economic downturn. Those things stress us out and make it bad for us.
Right.
But we still do need stress in our lives because it gives us that rush of adrenaline. So those things are those are good things. We like having that.
Sometimes there's stress, like if you're participating in a sports activity or a game or something,
Yeah.
a little bit of stress. Am I going to know the right answer, or am I going to hit the ball the right place?
Absolutely.
So that's stress too, but it's, again,
Yeah.
could be rewarding if we do it right.
Absolutely. So a little stress is like, I liken it to taking a couple of Tylenol. It's good for you. But what would happen if you took 50?
Yeah, you'd
Long,
be
slow,
pretty
painful
sick.
death. Yeah, it's
yeah.
not good. So you want to do things to relieve stress or manage it.
Okay. You know, we always talk about today, so much in the news about, you know, women moving into executive positions, the so-called glass ceiling. We had, you know, a really serious woman candidate running for president last year. Now our secretary, I think the last 3 secretaries of state, 3 of the last 4 anyway, have all been women. So we're seeing women in some really powerful positions. A lot of countries have women as their leader. Do women handle stress better than men or differently?
They handle stress differently. Women usually tend and befriend. So they take care of each other, they group together, they do those kinds of things. Men handle stress a little differently. They're a little more of that fight and flight, you've heard that. So they tend to fight off the stress. Women group together and socialize and do those things more.
Do you find sometimes people deal with stress inappropriately, like drugs, alcohol,
Absolutely.
abuse, violence, those kinds of things?
Absolutely, and those are inappropriate ways to handle stress, but sometimes if we're not taught any differently, that's the only way that we do. The best ways to handle stress? Breathe.
Really?
Breathe. Just take some nice deep breaths, and most of us don't do that. And all the things your mother told you.
Right.
Get enough sleep.
Eat your vegetables.
Eat your vegetables. Go eat your vegetables. Go see your doctor. Make sure that you're healthy all the time. Make sure that you're doing all the right things. Socialize. Those things are good for you.
So there's some good things we can do out there as well.
Absolutely.
What if we feel that stress is really overwhelming us? What are some of the things we should say to our doctor, and some things the doctor may prescribe besides eating our vegetables and breathing?
Your doctor might tell you to exercise. Maybe one of the first things that they'll tell you to do. Or they might tell you you need somebody to talk it out with. Sometimes we find we're overwhelmed by everything in our lives and we're not talking it out with somebody, and that can be really helpful too.
I know a lot of times they say too, when we have a lot of stresses coming in from a variety of areas, maybe if we could compartmentalize them.
Yeah.
You know, the car doesn't work, so let's deal with that. And then the problem at work, let's deal with that. And then the loud grandkids will deal with that. And
Absolutely.
the dog did something on the floor of the carpet. You know,
you deal with it as it comes along.
Everything as overwhelms us if it's all at once. So.
Yeah. And the other thing is, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Concentrate maybe on the positive things in your life and the things that are going well. Sometimes we think of all the terrible negative things and we don't concentrate on all the good things we really have going on. So that thing about don't worry, be happy, that kind of works.
Is the glass half full or half empty?
It is half full all the time.
Yeah. It was interesting. I remember a few years ago reading a book by television personality Linda Ellerby.
Yes.
And she had done a show on one of the networks, and she was very stressed out. And they had a post-production meeting, and everybody was screaming at each other and yelling at each other. She came home, and the kids knew she was obviously upset. They said, "What's wrong?" And, "Oh, this went wrong in the show, and this went wrong with the show." And one of her kids said, "Well, Mom, it's only television."
It's only television.
That's what they said, yeah.
Oh
and
my
so
gosh.
and so in other words, don't, you know, it's past the moon by now. Don't worry about it, Mom.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So I guess that helped her kind of get through that stressful.
I think the other thing that people need to do is do something fun every day.
Okay.
If you enjoy reading, fit that in every day. Crossword puzzles, fit that in every day. If
Yeah.
you garden, whatever makes you happy,
Right.
try to fit that in. So
Right.
take time for yourself every day.
But you mentioned socialization as well, and a lot of times people that are upset or stressed or depressed kind of hide in their cave, so to speak.
They do.
Maybe men more than women.
They do, and that's very true. And especially right now with the economy the way that it is, I think people are going into their little cave and being alone. You can't. You have friends. You need to talk to them.
Right.
You need to vent.
Good.
And your friends need to listen and empathize.
A little bit about your role at Kaiser. Where do you come in and dealing with patients and helping folks?
I help with new employee orientation, so help getting new employees started. I help with nursing orientation. I teach stress management. I also teach management of aggressive behavior, which is what I'm going to do when I leave here.
So
teach that class.
Good. So you work with the staff at Kaiser to help
Yes.
them be more empathetic and maybe recognize some of these stressful things in their patients as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Very
Absolutely.
good. We thank you for coming by and helping us
Well, thanks for
be a little
having
less
me.
stressful today. We're all going to breathe the rest of the day.
Okay.
And try and do something enjoyable. Jana, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Good
Thanks
to
for
have you on
having
the
me.
program today. Jana McCarthy, who is a health education specialist with Kaiser Permanente. And again, if you'd like to find out more about their programs, the number there on your screen, give them a call, find out more about the good things they provide. And of course, that new facility just up the road from us in nearby Irvine. We'll be back with more right after this.